Hello, welcome to the next devlog video of my project Mini Countries. After working on the game for another 2 weeks, I want to show you the implementation of the industry building, how you can create better resources out of your trade buildings, new pop-ups, and I show you one of the new trade buildings with a progress animation. So let's start after the intro. In the first videos of this series, I was talking about the core mechanics of the game and that trade buildings produces resources of the tile it's placed on. So on a wood tile, a forest hut is placed when the player builds a trade building over there. After creating the connection to a building with a stock, the trade starts producing the resource. In the meantime, I improved the trade building pop-up, which now shows the produced resource, the progress of the current production cycle, and some additional resource information. For the forest, for example, you can see that it produces wood in each season of the year. It produces one resource per production cycle, and it takes about 15 seconds to create another resource if the connection is still available and the stock has enough storage for the resource amount. If we have a look at another resource like wheat, you can see that wheat will not be produced in winter, but the amount of resources per production cycle is at 3. So that's something the player has to deal with because cities will keep asking for wheat in winter, even if there is no wheat production. So you have to create enough storage for always cover the demand to not lose the game. Before telling you more about creating better resources in the industry building, I would like to mention that I also started creating a little level editor for being able to design more countries with another resources, other mechanics and stuff like that. And for this I would like to ask you what kind of European countries you want to see in the first version of Mini Countries. Write down in the comments what country you are looking for and what resources are typical for this country. Maybe I will choose exactly your country's suggestion for being in the game. Let's proceed with the resource improvement. Cities which are requesting resources for a longer period can ask for better resources, and for improving a resource the player needs to build an industry building. The player has to do some rearrangements since the trade building now needs to be connected to the industry building instead of the city, because otherwise the produced resource will still be delivered to the city directly. So the previous connection has to be removed and the trade has to be connected to the industry now. When the first resource has been delivered, you can access it in the industry pop-up. If the player now clicks on the available resource, it will be set into the crafting slot. So far, no stock building like a city or a storage has been connected. So you see this little warning which indicates that the resource has been assigned, but it cannot be improved so far. As soon as the connection to the city has been made, the industry building starts creating the better resource. Like in the trade, the player sees the progress in the pop-up, but also in the building itself by some visuals. Later in the game you can upgrade the industry building, which leads to more crafting slots and much more combinations of new resources. In the first videos I only mentioned a few resources, but in the meantime I created a lot of landscapes and buildings for other resources as well. I won't show all of them to you because you should have some surprise when playing the game by yourself for the first time, but I would like to show you the trade building for grapes. The landscape itself is pretty decent with only some few vines. If you now unlock the resource by knowledge points, you can build a trade building on that tile. Last but not least, you have to connect the new trade with a stock building and it starts producing. For the grape trade I added progress visuals which update the landscape over the production cycle. And that's it for this week. If you liked the video, don't hesitate and like the video, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell to be up to date and get notified about future videos. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Cheers.